Right now at 6, what appears to be a stranger's random trail of violence through a Vancouver neighborhood.
Without him being alive, we don't know what kind of motive he had, or if he even had one.
Plus, a family barely escapes the Berdoin fire.
Door and I opened the door, and the whole side was in flames.
Losing their home, but not their gratitude.
My family's alive. That's what's the most important thing to me.
And the big change on the way for the historic heart of Portland's Black community.
This is a site that the community has been asking for change and redevelopment for since the 80s.
First at 6, police now say a man who broke into multiple homes in Vancouver, killing one woman, did not know his victims. Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanich.
And I'm David Molko. Authorities say shots were fired in a residential neighborhood near Northeast 22nd Street, just west of 138th Avenue and not far from Evergreen High. Let's go right to Devin Haskins live near the scene. So Devin, what is the latest?
Yeah, as you said, police now saying that the 3 victims and the suspect not knowing each other. All 3 of the victims found inside each of their homes when they were all individually attacked. This has neighbors here upset about what happened, but also asking plenty of questions about why it happened.
The shattered window of a door on the front porch of a home broken into Wednesday evening.
I was shocked.
Dick Martinez lives across the street and says what happened doesn't reflect the neighborhood he lives in.
This is a quiet neighborhood. We don't even get trick-or-treaters here.
Around 6:15 Wednesday night, Vancouver police say a neighbor called 911 saying a stranger had broken into his home and attacked him. That homeowner was injured but was able to run away to a neighbor's house. When police arrived, they started searching for the suspect inside the homes. And inside one of the homes, they found a woman that had been shot and killed, and in another, a man that had been injured. Police say both the injured men were not shot and suffered non-life-threatening injuries.
He's a nice guy. He's my age, maybe a year or 2 younger, and retired, and lives by himself, quiet, you know. And that's very sad. And I just don't know. I don't know what to think of it.
It's tragic. It's crazy.
Vaughn Hickman lives about 100 yards away.
I can hardly believe it. I mean, this neighborhood's pretty quiet and fairly calm and reasonably secure. It was a big surprise.
Police say they found the suspect inside his own home, dead of what they called an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. It's a crime that has shattered the peacefulness of this neighborhood, leaving many with unanswered questions.
Why he started shooting up, this neighborhood, I don't know. I don't believe, without him being alive, we don't know what kind of motive he had, or if he even had one.
Yeah, that's one of the questions that we've asked police. Police have not yet said if there was any reason behind these crimes. They also haven't released the names of the suspect or the victim that died or the 2 men that were injured. We do know that the suspect was 29 years old. Back to you.
Devin Haskins reporting live for us from Vancouver. Thank you, Devin. Since this story deals with the topic of suicide, a reminder that help is always available. If you or someone you know is struggling, just call or text the number there on your screen. That is 988. It can connect you with help and resources 24/7.
Okay, now to the latest on the Berdoin fire that's burning in Washington's Klickitat County, where officials say the blaze has now destroyed 44 structures.
In total, more than 11,000 acres have burned, and the fire is 13% contained. That is a small sign of progress, but still, level 3 evacuation orders remain in place. Washington's governor visited the fire area today to thank crews on the front lines for fighting those fires.
Meanwhile, displaced families are grappling with the loss and uncertainty, including one woman who escaped with only her purse. Here's John Adams.
Hundreds of firefighters remain in Klickitat County fighting the Berdoin fire. Many of them are here in White Salmon, camping at this school. We spoke to a family earlier today who lost everything to the fire. At a Red Cross shelter in White Salmon, siblings Stephen and Victoria Nelson feel lucky to be alive after fleeing the fast-moving Berdoin fire on Sunday.
Door and I opened the door, and the whole side was in flames. I didn't grab my bag or anything. I just grabbed my purse, ran up to the house to get my mama and my brother.
As they raced to make it to safety, they realized they were already surrounded by fire.
We could feel the heat from the side of the road all the way downtown to Lyle. Everything was engulfed.
A text from a neighbor revealed that their home had in fact been lost.
It's all gone.
That's what Bubba said too.
And it's hard. I'm sorry.
The Nelsons' home, one of 44 structures that have burned in the Berdoin fire. At a press conference Thursday morning, Washington Governor Bob Ferguson thanked the roughly 900 fire personnel.
We're just so deeply appreciative of the work that they do, the long hours they're putting in, the very difficult terrain that they're operating under.
As fire crews prepare for another difficult night, the Nelsons are thankful for what they still have left.
My family's alive. That's what's the most important thing to me.
In White Salmon, John Adams, KGW News.
Yeah, thinking of those families, let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino tracking the fire in the Weather Center.
Now, Matt, how are the conditions looking right now?
Oh, the winds have really picked up compared to the last couple of days as we begin to cool off on the west side. That helps to basically fuel those strong winds through the gorge. Here's the Dalles right now. Our camera on the Oregon Veterans Home. Let me check it out. The winds are gusting at 37 miles an hour. Now, the good news is we're not seeing a big uptick in the amount of smoke coming off the Berdoin fire or the Brewer Road fire, but it's out there, and hot temperatures, low humidity, and those strong winds, not the friends of firefighters, so we wish them the best, of course. Our high temperatures today, down to 85 in Portland, 86 in Hood River. So, yes, it's cooled off, but I think the trade-off of the cooler temperatures, even in the gorge, versus the uptick in the winds, not really worth it. I think it'd be better if we were a little bit warmer, but with far less wind. But that's the hand we've been dealt by Mother Nature. 60s and 70s out on the Oregon coast and 90s over in eastern Oregon. I'm going to talk about this, what happened today, what starts today. We enter the period of the year with our highest average high temperature. So if you think about it, just simply put, it's typically the warmest part of the year, late July to early August. 13 days from today through August 5th, our average high is 84 degrees. That's our highest average high temperature of the year in Portland. And the average number of days that we get 84 or better is 35. We're about 27 right now. So we're on pace to break that and exceed that, which we've been doing a lot of over the last 10, 15 years. The record was 68 such days of 84 degrees or warmer back in 2023. And if you look at the list of top 15 years when we've had days over 84, 12 of them have happened since the year 2000. So it's been a long, warm run. Back to the winds in the gorge. You can see they're sustained at 20 miles an hour at Lyle, 24 in Rowena. So no rest from the winds for the firefighters. In fact, the winds will back off in most places overnight, but in the gorge, it's going to stay windy. They'll decrease in velocity, but it's still going to be windy overnight. Thunderstorms in southern Oregon tomorrow, still windy in the gorge, and much the same for Friday and the weekend. Cooler, yeah, but low humidity and those strong winds west to east through the gorge, guys.
Yeah, appreciate you keeping us updated. Thanks, Matt.
In your headlines this evening, Crime Stoppers of Oregon is offering a $2,500 reward for tips that lead to an arrest in the shooting death of 21-year-old Jalen Hudson. Police say Hudson was killed last Sunday near North Newman Avenue and Newark Street. That's near McCoy Park in the Portsmouth neighborhood. Officers found Hudson shot in a car and tried to save him, but he died at the scene. Anyone with information can contact detectives or submit tips on the Crime Stoppers website.
17 more victims have filed lawsuits against the state, accusing doctors and staff at the Oregon Youth Authority of sexual abuse. 12 of them named Dr. Gary Edwards, also known as Dr. Coldfingers, who is no longer alive. 3 other staffers are also accused. The plaintiffs want more than $275 million in damages. In a statement today, OYA called the allegations abhorrent and says most current staff joined after Edwards' time at the facility.
And the federal government is sending disaster aid to Oregon, but left out one of the hardest hit areas. President Trump approved FEMA funds for Coos, Curry, and Douglas counties after March storms triggered flooding and landslides, causing just short of $10 million in damage. But Harney County was not included. Oregon Emergency Management says FEMA has not given a reason yet and that the state plans to appeal.
The site is sacred in a lot of ways to those communities.
She's talking about the Walnut Park area, a hub for small businesses in Northeast Portland's Black community. Today, Multnomah County commissioners took the next step toward redeveloping it.
Celine Stevens sat in on that meeting and is live in the Albina neighborhood with the details. Celine?
David, so the County Board of Commissioners approved a request for proposal for a development partner with a unanimous vote this morning. This just means that they're at the infancy stages of this redevelopment project, one that the county and community members hope will help to revitalize this community.
The building may not have changed, the community around it definitely has.
Walnut Park, the county-owned block at the corner of Northeast Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard and Killingsworth Street, could be transformed in the next few years.
This is a site that the community has been asking for change and redevelopment for since the 80s. And so this opportunity for the community to actually be a full partner in this process is really huge.
In a unanimous vote Thursday morning, the Multnomah County Board of Commissioners embarked on Stage 0, approving a request for proposal for a development partner.
The resolution is adopted.
So the next step will be us finishing the language in the request for proposals so we can send that out, which means then community providers, developers can start to propose projects, and we'll get to look at those and select somebody to take that next step in the design phase.
This stage, expected to cost $150,000 in general funds, already authorized by the board in the current budget. In this initial phase, everything is fluid.
You're not making final decisions in that first phase. You're creating the project proposal that then the county commissioners get to vote on one way or another.
The building, currently home to the Northeast Health Center and other important services, is in the Albina district, which used to be one of Portland's most prosperous black neighborhoods. The hope for it to be improved to match the needs of the community.
Success for me is imagining something that includes some sort of housing on site. But most importantly, it's an opportunity for the county to reimagine how it works with community and builds relationships.
I hope this project is an amazing new place for the communities that have always been the black and underserved communities that have always been part of Northeast Portland.
Although there is still a lot left up in the air, the hope with this development is that it would include housing, small businesses, and that health center that's in there would remain. By fall, the hope is to have selected that community partner, and then the next time the board would take action would be late 2026. Back to you.
Yeah, well, a big step forward today. Celine Stevens in Northeast Portland. Thanks, Celine. Still to come at 6, what's at stake for hundreds of workers as the commission that oversees ODOT policy and spending weighs in with a message for elected officials.
And Portland Fire fans fired up, raking in thousands of season ticket deposits since the team's official launch last week. President Claire Hamill weighs in. Then later.
What we realize is if we educated educators and teachers about how to use AI in an ethical way, they could then pass this information along to their students.
Meet the students writing a new narrative when it comes to how artificial intelligence should be used in the classroom.